This right here is the OnePlus 8, the little brother to the OnePlus 8 Pro and supposedly the successor to the OnePlus 7T. Two relations that the phone almost manages to live up to. I've had this in my pocket for quite some time now, and well, after all the updates that the company has pushed out to make the experience a whole lot better, I figured it's the right time to give another look at the OnePlus 8 for you guys. And that's what we're doing today. Hey guys, this is Varun from Guiding Tech, and this is my long-term review of the OnePlus 8 and whether it still makes sense to buy this phone or not. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start off with the design because I do have a lot of thoughts here. The phone legit feels like the little brother to the OnePlus 8 Pro since it has the curved edges, the same punch hole camera, but loses the extra weight. In fact, it's probably the lightest OnePlus device that I've used and also the most comfortable. The weight management is well done, so the device does not feel that top heavy either. Now, despite all those positives, I do have to say that I do miss that circular layout of the OnePlus 7T. See, the OnePlus 8 has this design that is kind of reminiscent of the original OnePlus 7, the standard OnePlus 7. And while that's not a bad thing, the 70's circular camera layout, despite its inconveniences, did at least make the device look unique. This does not really stand apart from the crowd. And when you're paying such a premium for a device like this, you expect your device to stand out from the hood, right? Also, I mentioned those curved edges. Now, as much as I hate to admit it, the fact is that I do find myself liking the curved edges on the OnePlus 8 as much as I like on the OnePlus 8 Pro. Obviously, this also means that there are going to be no more flat screens on OnePlus devices. So, if you are someone like that who wanted flat screens, yes, it's going to be a downside for you. But personally, I think the curves here really do add on to the grip, and when you're using gestures, the back gesture feels really smooth. Now, having said that, obviously I'm saying this because I got a review unit that's for free. So I can be a little more free with this thing, But if I were to buy this thing, I would obviously be a little more careful with the device, using a better case than the provided TPU case. Because, obviously curved screens will cost you a lot more to repair. So there's that. Next up, we have the display, and well, it's pretty much great. 90Hz Full HD AMOLED panel, I mean, what else do you want? I know, 120Hz Quad HD like this puppy right here, but to be honest, for the price that you pay for the OnePlus 8, 90Hz AMOLED Full HD is still pretty damn good. I've used it under direct sunlight with max brightness, I've used it in dark rooms with minimum brightness, and the experience has been pretty much flawless for me. Now, there has been some controversy surrounding the green tint issues and the black crush issues that are synonymous with the OnePlus 8 Pro, and I've addressed all of those things in my long-term review of the OnePlus 8 Pro as well. So I suggest you guys watch it from the link here or in the description box. Personally though, I love the display. It's absolutely great and it's pretty much the best in class 90Hz Full HD AMOLED panel that you can expect. And OnePlus really has upped its game when it comes to displays. Obviously, they all come from Samsung, but that in itself is a great point because Samsung definitely makes the best displays. As for that 90Hz refresh rate, although I use the 120Hz 8 Pro as my daily driver, switching from 120Hz to 90Hz isn't that much of a downfall as going from 90Hz to 60Hz would be. So yeah, 90Hz seems like the sweet spot, and for this price tag, it's perfect. Now moving on, we have the cameras. And okay, so when the OnePlus 8 was launched, I outrightly said that the OnePlus 8 feels like a downgrade as compared to the OnePlus 7T's camera. In fact, I even did a thorough camera comparison comparing both the devices, and you can see that the OnePlus 7T is the straight winner in that comparison. Now that was at the launch time. Since then, OnePlus has pushed out a lot of software upgrades that have really upped the camera department here. That said, the experience, well, it has both its positives and negatives. The positives, the camera on this is definitely much better now. The negatives, it's only as good as the OnePlus 7T. So you don't really get a lot of upgrade factor over there. The 7T has the same primary sensor, but it also has a telephoto sensor as compared to the usually pointless macro sensor on the OnePlus 8. And the camera results speak for itself. See, the problem here is with the hardware that they went with. It has the same sensors as the 70, so as much as they can try and perform, whatever they can push out in terms of software upgrades, the actual results will obviously be as good as the 70. You cannot exceed that. And while that's a good thing for people who have already bought the OnePlus 8, because now you have a better camera system as you had, when you bought the device, it also means that if you're in the market looking for a new device to buy from the house of OnePlus and camera is your priority, the OnePlus 70 offers a better value for money as compared to the OnePlus 8. Now, one advantage that the OnePlus 8 has over the OnePlus 70 in terms of the camera is with Gcam compatibility. See, both of them can run Gcam without having to install any extra mods or anything like that, but with the 70 you only get access to the primary sensor. With the OnePlus 8, all three lenses can be used by Gcam without having to root your device or using Magisk or something like that. So yeah, that is a plus point. Okay, now moving on, there's the performance part, and obviously the Snapdragon 865 is a beast of a chipset. Now at its price point, the OnePlus 8 competes with the iQOO and the Realme X50 Pro, both are devices that offer the same chipset, but actually undercut the OnePlus 8 in terms of the pricing. Now, I'll be realistic over here in terms of actual performance, when you're gaming or something like that, the performance on all three devices is the same, no difference whatsoever. And whether be it thermals, whether be it frames, everything is pretty much the same. However, there are two advantages that the OnePlus 8 has over its competitors. The first of it is with PUBG. See, OnePlus recently partnered with PUBG to get the 90 FPS mode, which is a great deal, especially for PUBG gamers, obviously. But that is a timed exclusive. So that feature is, it's good for now, but it will obviously be rolling out to other devices as well. So that's not really a big win for OnePlus 8. However, the other big win for the OnePlus 8 is in terms of the software, which is OxygenOS. See, OxygenOS is by far my favorite custom skin out there, short of any custom ROM out there. And I'm not just saying this as a fanboy, but also as a critic. OnePlus's OxygenOS offers just the right amount of optimizations that make the whole device not just look faster, but also perform faster. Obviously, the device feels a lot faster thanks to its stock-like experience, which is going away. Yeah. Well, we've already done a video talking about the best features about OxygenOS 11, which is available as a beta for the OnePlus 8. And while it's great, and you should definitely check out our video about that, the one big takeaway is that OnePlus is obviously going away from the stock-like experience and moving towards Samsung's One UI kind of a feel, which has its own positives and negatives. I mean, it's great for one-handed usage, but it does not have that classic OnePlus feel that the company is known for. So yeah, I would reserve my final thoughts when the stable build comes out, but for now, at least there are no complaints in the software segment, because yes, the device will be supported for a long time. But yeah, that OxygenOS 11 could make or break things. Then we have the battery life, and that is one area where the OnePlus 8 definitely feels like an upgrade over the 70. See, the 70 had to rely on software optimizations to last a full day. However, the 4300 mAh battery on this device is pretty good, and it easily lasts a full day and then some. My only complaint here is the same complaint I had with the OnePlus 8 Pro, which is the charging speed. The industry has moved forward, and while 30 watts isn't that slow or anything, it definitely feels sluggish when compared to its competitors. So obviously they can't change anything now. So in terms of LTR, that is something that you really can't, affect the device. But yeah, with the OnePlus 8T, I definitely feel that OnePlus should be carving out a better charging platform for the device. And that really brings out to the verdict of this long-term review. See, as things stands, the OnePlus 8 feels like a great device, but for those who've already bought it, it's going to be a great deal. You're running it, the software optimizations have genuinely made it a good device. If you're in the market and looking for a new device and don't really want that current gen flagship hardware, to be honest, 865 is in the current gen anyway, because 865 Plus is out there already. And if you're still looking for a good new smartphone, I would say get the OnePlus 7T instead. It's still available, and obviously it offers a much better value for money. That said, the OnePlus 7T will be going out of stock pretty soon, because obviously it's not being manufactured anymore, and they're just selling off leftover units. So once that thing goes out of stock, the OnePlus 8 will offer good value for money. But then there's always the factor that the OnePlus 8T will be coming around pretty soon. And my whole point of this video is that while the OnePlus 8 is a great device, the company has definitely made some mistakes here and there, and I feel that they should correct it with the OnePlus 8T. With the 8 Pro, the 8T Pro, they don't have a lot to improve upon. But with the 8T specifically, they do need to work out on a lot of things. First foremost is the camera. Please just get rid of that macro sensor and install a better camera system. Secondly, charging speeds. You need better charging speeds. Then there's a display factor. A lot of you guys will be commenting about that, but trust me, 90 Hz is fine. I don't really have a complaint about that. And lastly, if you're talking about expectations, I would still expect a better or at least a changed design with the OnePlus 8T so that it feels a bit more unique. Well, that's all about it. If you like this video, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Varun from Guiding Tech, and I'll see you in the next one.